Vitality has managed to be this dominant up until this day.
And it all starts with the drafts, right? I think they've had an exceptional draft so far, very creative, very out of the box, but when they want to play according to the meta, that's also something that they find strength in. So let's welcome you, ladies and gentlemen, to game number one. See that Falcons will be on blue side. And we'll talk about this a little bit, right? Blue side, even yesterday, has found a lot more success than teams that have taken down in the red side. So if patterns speak volumes, then maybe we're looking at Falcons here taking game number one.
Yeah, I mean, for Falcons, right? They've already taken they've already taken this route. They've gone up against Vitality several times, blue side, red side. This has happened oftentimes, and I think if they mix and match their kind of data, they should have something up their sleeve. But being on the blue side this time, there was a high chance of winning. We've seen it in the games of Onyx Zol and Smart Omega in the lower bracket yesterday. So who knows? This might actually just be, the head start that Falcons Vega needs. It's actually, you know, a nice and slow bans coming out from both sides, considering that they already have all of the information that they need. The Loi is up, by the way. They've taken out the chip earlier, and I think the Loi is also something that Falcons Vega has utilized even in the past tournaments that they had.
Oh, and that's a very, very high priority pick. But remember, the Harith
Mhm.
has also been left open. So now they're kind of pushing Falcons in a position where, all right, what's your strategy? What's your priority? Do you want to pick up something like the Harith for the gold lane to have a little bit more say? Or do you want that presence, that macro capacity that the Luo Yi offers? And it looks like Falcons have chosen the Luo Yi.
Wow, I think this is kind of like the throwback to the first time I casted an Indonesian female MLBB game, and Falcons. There was a time I remember the Loi wasn't even a thing in professional play. Like, it was just a pocket pick for some of the players, and one of the teams that have actually utilized it really well was Falcons Vega. Even back in the day when they were still playing under GPX, this was a pocket pick that they've had, and they're so good with it. They're very comfortable with it. And now, when it all comes to like ganking, it's all about the map control. Having the Loi on their side is really good. You've seen the play that they did yesterday with the chip. That was honestly something just so mind blowing up until today. I still can't get over that. They kickstarted off with a Martis as well, possibly going into the jungler role for Falcons Vega. And as for Vitality, they've started it off real strong. A power pick for Chills, by the way. The Claude is in their hands as well as the Minotaur.
If you're talking about power picks, that's also a power pick Martis in the jungle here for Melee. She's been exceptional on this particular hero. And you can already feel, again, right, that early game centric gameplay that it looks like they're going for here. The Martis, similar to the Roger in the gold lane, requires that snowballing potential, and if they don't get it, then that's a little bit difficult in towards the late game. So now Vitality pick up something like the Boxia. So early game rotations are going to be great as well for the Boxia. Neutral objective take as well, but I think speed is like the main focus here for Team Vitality in game number one.
Yeah, the rotations, right? Just to make sure that all of their lanes are covered. Securing the objectives is going to be very important as well for both of these teams. They're so good with the macro play. And, securing in the turtles was one of the keys to victory here for even the other teams like Onyx Zol, right? Up against Smart Omega. So having fast rotations with the first three heroes that Vitality has, it's gonna be good for them in the early game. But let's not forget, it's also a Martis on the side of Team Falcons Vega, and it's just so good at the early game. We all know what it's like when a Martis just snowballs. It's just gonna be really hard to kind of bounce back from that situation.
So now that Atan has been banned out, and so has the X-Borg. Knowingly, an X-Borg is such a great counter towards the Charizla in the lane. They also want to set up a good EXP lane, because it could be a very difficult gold lane here against the Claude, against Shell. A power pick for Shell as well with the Claude. What kind of gold laner would you want to focus on? The Harith is still available if they do want to go that route.
Yeah, there's just a lot of CC though on the side of Vitality, right? So that's kind of like, okay, should we still go for the Harriet? But yeah, you know what? They want to leave no stones unturned. Team Vitality will just take away the Harriet. I was thinking they're forcing Falcons Vega here to just pick up the carry, right? Like the carry, the classic carry Claude in the gold lane. But it's gonna be really hard for the carry though, right? Like you got the two frontliners for their side. You can melt them down in the late game, but up against the Claude, it's gonna be really hard.
It's definitely a better lane for the Claude if they do want to force out a carry. And obviously the carry would do well against the Baxia and the Minotaur. You want to be able to shred through all that HP. And that's one of the choices that they do have. But with so many front lines, there is a possibility that they could go for something like the Ixia. But never mind. There's a little bit too much dive, I think, from the side of Team Vitality.
Yeah, even for if the Ixia is gonna go up against the Claude, right? Like the Minotaur can just knock up the Ixia. It's gonna be really hard to position. Like if you have an Ixia, I think it's more of if you had it in the lineup of Vitality, I would understand that kind of matches their lineup a little bit more. But the Ixia though, it's a little bit risky, I'd say, when it's Falcons Vega that has it under the hand. So yeah, they're really forcing out the carry here just to melt down the front lines, right? To take down the Minotaur, to take down the tanky Baksha. But I'm hearing something. Okay, that's a voice line I know. And we've seen this yesterday from Smart Omega, and they're gonna do exactly the same here for Falcons Vega. It was a different story yesterday, but the Carmilla as well has been picked up for Falcons Vega. Love this pick. Great up against the lineup here of Team Vitality, the crowd control, the Curse of Blood. I don't even want to start because I love that hero so much.
I like that hero and I understand your notion, but with the lineup that Team Vitality has picked up, I don't really see the synergy for the Carmilla, right? With the Carmilla, it's great with the ultimate if your team groups up, either against like something like a Chip or a Faramis or something like that, but in this particular regard, with so much dive, it will be interesting to see how this Carmilla will perform in this particular composition against what Team Vitality is going for, especially with the Lapu Lapu locked in last year for Team Vitality. A little bit more gameplay, a little bit more initiation plays that can be given with the Lapu Lapu.
Yep. I think for the side of Team Falcons Vega, right, they're willing to risk this type of play, like having the Chang as well in the gold lane. Fast way, though, up against the Claude, it can also poke the Claude in the lane. But yeah, the Carmilla, though, I think it's the idea of kind of denying all of these team fights, like it's anti-team fights up against Team Vitality. So yeah, I'm still wondering how they'll pull off that pick. There's also a lot of peel, a lot of pokes coming in from the side of Team Vitality.
So with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, let's just jump straight into game number 1 in our first match of the day. A best of 3 between both Indonesian reps here at SPS Women's League Challenge Finals. They're up in the upper bracket and they are looking to get that grand final position, that first grand final position, as Team Falcons Vega as well as Team Vitality go head to head.
There's a lot of potential here for Falcons Vega to do the ganks. Fast rotations as well. You've been talking about it for Team Vitality, and Falcons Vega has that too. Like the Carmilla, the diversion play coming out from Funi. So yeah, I think I want to see that happen, especially you need to kind of slow down the gold lane here for the side of Team Vitality to ensure that the winning condition is on the side of Falcons Vega.
On that note, a very interesting choice from Chinchao on the Chang'e in the gold lane, right? We saw a different sub-emblem utilized yesterday when it was utilized by Smart Omega. But Chinchao, same weakness finder. We also do have the, what do you call it? Bargain Hunter. But that first emblem is a little bit different. I wonder how that will pay and how impactful it will be in this 1v1 against Shell on the Claude.
Mm-hmm. And right now, we're starting to see Thal as well utilizing this Carmilla. Like, making sure that they have an idea of where Pipals is. And, you know, the Carmilla has a great early game. That I can definitely say. And looking at how things are going right now, it seems like Falcons Vega already has a great position. Forces that flicker out from Thal. But here comes the first turtle for both sides to take. And Team Vitality and the side of Falcons Vega have positioned themselves here as well.
That's a big resource wasted. That flicker in right before the neutral objective take. Let's see both of these teams and how they go for it. Both junglers are same at level 4. So let's see this 50-50 and the setup from Pipals.
Yep, there's the initiation coming through, but it's going to be Maylane securing in that first turtle of the game. Goes for a double as well. Great start for the side of Falcons Vega. Maylane picking up the turtle and picking up 2 kills instantly for the side of Falcons.
It's a comfort pick, right? Again, Martis has just been so good for Maylane and actually also as well for Caramel. But maybe that's one of the reasons why they swapped in the jungler this time around, because we're seeing that prowess that she has on this Martis. Being able to pick up this neutral objective, picking up 2 kills to start in that snowball, that entire win condition that they had with their particular composition, especially with the Chang'e in the gold lane. It's going really, really well for them. And now Team Vitality, they have to think about a way to stop this snowball from happening, right? Because Falcons Vega already leading with a 2K in this first 3 minutes of the game.
Yeah, even the level of Pipals and Maylane is different, right? Like 2 levels ahead for Maylane, whereas Pipals now going in for the impact. There goes the Curse of Blood onto 3. Okay, goes for the killing spree. Decimate onto 2. Might actually go for the triple, but they're not gonna go for more here. It's beautifully timed Curse of Blood there by Thal, and then you have Maylane there just really having the time of her life, going in for the decimate, and that's exactly what a Martis needs. This is what a Martis wants to have in the early game.
Very aggressive, but also very respectful in terms of her item build for Maylane, right? We have the Fury Hammer in for a little bit more damage in this early game. But wait a second, in the top side, that's a lot of damage actually traded in. They're putting in the pressure. But back to the items, right? There's a lot of respect towards the magic damage that can be put on towards her, especially against a hero like Novaria in the early game, as well as that Leather Jerkin. But meanwhile...
Yep, Vivian's taking a lot of the damage there from the rotation diversion combination there from Funi, forcing her back. Actually, this is good for Falcons Vega once again. The turtle takes are so important for all of the teams, and Maylane already 2 levels, still 2 levels ahead of Pipals, will be taking this turtle again with no contest from the side of Vitality.
At this point, they shouldn't, right? At this point, they shouldn't go for the contest, because if they play into this trap, if they play into the tempo of Falcons Vega, they're just gonna lose more, and they're gonna have to... Oh, wait a second, bottom lane.
Eterna, that was another beautiful Curse of Blood. We were talking about the combination here, how it would actually work out, and that's the idea from Falcons Vega. Get in a diversion play, bring in Thal there, and just completely catch Team Vitality off guard. That was beautifully executed by Falcons Vega, and right now they've exerted so much pressure on all of their lanes. Team Vitality seem to be so stunned on what to do next right now.
The macro pressure that Funi has with the Luo Yi has been a problem, right? Because the winning condition again for Team Vitality is to try and wait for a little bit into the mid game, right? When Pipals has a power spike, Cindy needs a little bit more items to dish out that damage if that's the build that she's going for. And as well as shells, right? You want those 3 items. Wait a second! That's a kill over onto Vivian. So to make it all worse now for Team Vitality, they have to lose Vivian in the process, propelling Maylane to a 5-0-0 KDA.
Wow, okay, we were talking about the possibilities here between these two teams, but yeah, it seems like Falcons Vega came here prepared up against Team Vitality. And Vitality right now, even though they have really, really good rotations, they have so much mobility in their lineup, it seems like Falcons Vega are slowly taking in the lanes. Mid lane, the bottom lane turret, it's so fast. 6 minutes in, 6 kills for their side. It's like they're having like 1 kill per minute here for Falcons Vega. And what's really good is 5 of them actually went to the jungler, to main lane.
Yeah, I wouldn't call it slow. This is some fast-paced action and tempo from Falcons Vega. They mean business here in game number 1. We talked about the revenge arc coming through for both of these teams, and it looks like Falcons Vega, they're taking it personally. Looks like another diversion play to the top side.
Yep, diversion play, but it's only Fumi this time. Okay, forces the flicker out for their side. Curse of Blood, but only lands it on Fumi Echo. Now, the side of Team Vitality, they want to go for Mortal, buying some time, and Maylane will be securing once again the last turtle of the game. All of them went to the side of Falcons Vega. 21k, 3,000 gold lead for the side of Falcons Vega, and the map control as well onto their side as Vitality. They're really, really struggling right now. Pipal is going to be taking in the damage. There goes a nice setup from Vivian. Fumi Echo as well, looking to land that bravest fighter, but it's gonna be the bravest fighter out. Violet as well does not have that ultimate, gonna be backing away, but Falcons Vega once again still has everything under control.
I think honestly it went a little bit out of control with that diversion play. They couldn't get anything, forced to flicker, and even had to lose Chin Chao in the process, giving over a kill onto Shell that we notoriously know is so good at farming and getting into that late game to get to that power spike and eventually being able to turn an entire game around. So I think that was a big mistake coming in from Falcons Vega. And if they keep making these mistakes, a team like Team Vitality with so much experience under their belt, that definitely can be punished and capitalized. Falcons Vega need to keep going with the tempo, but also be very decisive and disciplined with their decision making.
Yep, because one Curse of Blood, right? You've seen it earlier, and right now, Thal, speaking of the Curse of Blood, that's going to link into Cine. That's going to be third down for Chin Chao. Meteor Shower has been used, and they're going to be backing it away. You see how fast it is. Man, how many turrets has Falcons Vega taken?
Fumi?
3, but on the backside of Fumi, gonna get punished there by the side of Falcons Vega, and right now Vivian as well,
Shells!
just like that, instantly taken down. Shells with the blazing to went out. Man, that was too close for comfort. She actually dashed away. Good thing she has that BMI out, or that would have been another takedown for the side of Team Vitality.
But this is a wake-up call now for Falcons Vega, right? Sure, they were able to get the favorable trade, taking down Fumi as well as Vivian in the process of that team fight, but it is a wake-up call of what Shell is capable of. And that's even before that power spike lands. With that space though, with the way that Falcons Vega played it, they will be able to get the neutral objective take. They will be able to pick up this Lord uncontested. But I'm actually curious to see the items now for Shells in the 9th minute, how far she's gone up. Oh, but Chin Chao picking up the Holy Crystal, that's also going to be very huge for Falcons Vega.
Yeah, the same emblem that they used as well yesterday for Smart Omega, having in the weakness fighter for the Chang. Golden Staff has been secured here as well by Shells. I think this is the thing for Vitality. They just have to kind of wait for the right moment to punish Falcons Vega. This is exactly what Falcons wanted for the early game, right? The Snowball Martis. And right now, Team Vitality, they're banking on Shells here. This is a comfort pick for her as well. So we're going to have to see, right? You see how fast she's also taking down Thal there. A couple of basic attacks almost taking her down, but now we see the Meteor Shower. Lord has been melted down here by Team Vitality. Still no inhibitors. They're all intact here for the side of Team Vitality. They're not going to go for more. Still respecting Team Vitality's damage capabilities.
There is still this wave that is marching down in the bottom side of the map, but of course with the discipline coming through, they do not want to go and overcommit onto it. But the problem is, the longer this game goes, the more Chin Chao is not going to have as much of an impact as it did in the early stage of the game in that 1v1 against the Claude. The Claude will be able to siege through these objectives a lot quicker, a lot faster. And of course, that DPS is definitely much more stronger for the Claude as compared to the Chang'e. So with the Golden Staff being picked up, I'm wondering whether or not he's already picked up the next 2 items on the board. But diversion play.
Oh, wow. Okay, almost. Pipals was just like, I felt it. They're gonna use that diversion right there, but that was gonna be huge if Thal was able to land it on like 3. There was 3 members of Vitality right there in the middle. But right now, 11 minutes in, it's gonna be the Luminous Lord up. We still have yet to see Chills, right? It's a good thing though that she is starting to slowly scale up for now, like being able to farm slowly, whereas Falcons Vega, they're just enjoying the early game. But right now, Pipals though, gonna be starting it up here. Starting it off with melee, but right now they're gonna go for the penalty zone. Demon Owens Fury there as well to combine it all in. There's the shutdown that you were looking for. It's gonna be Shells locking in a double kill. Might go for the triple as the rest of Falcons Vega. They're gonna back away, and that is the opening Team Vitality was looking for.
Slowly coming back, and this is what I was so concerned about from that early game, right? Because Falcons Vega, that composition is really great in the early game. So it played out. The results we saw is exactly what is to be expected. But the problem is when that starts to shift, when Team Vitality and their heroes and their members start to get their power spike, in those items, that's when things are going to be a little bit more tricky for Falcons Vega. One of the only loopholes that they have in their arsenal right now for Falcons is the fact that they have the Luo Yi with a diversion. They can work around the map, look for a loophole in terms of positioning, go for a flank, try to get Shells in the back line because here you go, right? Gold leaderboard, Shells is at number 1, a 10,000 gold lead. They haven't been able to shut down Shells so far, and this is going to be a problem for Falcons Vega.
Yeah, I mean, the big thing that Team Vitality got earlier in that clash when Chels popped in that Blazing Duet was able to shut down Melee. That's a huge gold swing to the side of the gold laner of Team Vitality. And right now, Falcons Vega knows that the expiry time for that early game is about to happen, right? This is where the time where the Claude is about to shine. They're going to have to take in everything that they got, starting up this Lord as well. Half HP already. Let's see if Vitality will make in the play. I think Vivian has that flicker in, goes in for the Minoan's Fury, but it's still going to be Melee taking in the Lord for the side of Falcons Vega. There's still going to be isolated clashes here as for the side of Team Falcons Vega, they're super low as Team Vitality, they strike in. It's still going to be Chels picking up that mega kill. 4 kills already for Chels, and this just might be it for Vitality. They've been taking down the members here of Falcons Vega, but they do have the Lord here for their side.
It is a 1v1 trade, but remember, Falcons Vega picked up that Lord, so it is still technically a favorable trade for Falcons Vega, with Maylane 2 levels ahead earlier on when they went in for the neutral objective contest, maybe 2 or even 3 levels ahead. It definitely was better suited to favor Maylane in that retribution battle. But the fact that Team Vitality are trading it like this, somehow, some way, Falcons Vega need to look for a way to close this out as soon as possible. And the problem is, when it comes to the offense, when it comes to them looking for the end of the game, they don't have enough siege. They don't have a marksman to dish out that damage onto the turret, so they're banking on this Lord damage. But look at Shell! She's just shredding through Thal. Basically, that's their roamer, by the way. And you can already see this being a continuous problem now for Falcons Vega. They can't end.
Oh man, the flicker has been burned as well by Thal, and this is what you get when you have a Claude. It is time to kind of reap the rewards here when it comes to the late game. Although Falcons Vega, they still have the gold lead, 2k gold lead, but it's really hard to end this, right? Like not unless you kind of get that shutdown on Chels. They have to make some sort of diversion play here to catch Chels off guard. Maybe, shut her down at this point because she's been wrecking havoc here up against Falcons Vega, right? The roamer, Thal, despite the fact that she already has the plate armor and even the anti-cuirass, it's still not enough to kind of like soak in all of the damage that Chels has been putting out. She also has the complete items right now, Aeterna. It's like all of the core items of the Claude has the Demon Hunter Sword, the Golden Staff, the Malefic Roar, and even, of course, the Rose Gold Meteor to counter out the magic damage.
Yeah, the Rose Gold Meteor, oh, wait a second. They're going for an engage here.
Yep. Oh, no. Just talking about the items. She's been taken down. Immortality is out. And now Vivian goes in for the Minoan's Fury. Fumi Echo as well from the back. They're waiting for the timing. They don't have their roamer right now. And Chels going for the Blazing Duet. On the 3, a double kill for Fumi Echo. And with that, it's only Chin Chao and Funi left to defend. Oh, man.
This is chaos. This is so bad for Falcons Vega. That early game snowball that they have been able to amount to has been brought down to only a 1k gold. And at this point, with so many of the members already at full items, it's going to be a lot more difficult. And now the shoe is on the other foot. Now it is Falcons Vega that need to look for a loophole, because we're already in minute number 16. We're in Team Vitality zone. We're in their territory at this point.
Yeah, I think for Vitality, right, they did not contest the Turtles very early on, knowing, or they respected already, okay, Falcons Vega had their time there in the early game. Meylane was able to use that Martis so well, was able to farm up pretty well, but now 16 minutes. Look at the gold graph of Falcons Vega dropping down here in, by the 15-minute mark. And this is where Shells was just wrecking havoc again up against Falcons Vega. Now they have the Lord on their side. They should be able to push down the second tier towers here.
And to make it all worse, she's actually picked up the Wind Talker. So that blazing duet, that attack speed coming through from that ult is going to be even more precarious in the damage output given onto Falcons Vega. So, ladies and gentlemen, this Lord is marching now in the top side of the 3 waves that will be crashing. And it looks like Peepball's gonna go for an engage first.
Peepballs, Vivian waiting for the proper timing. They can't find an opening just yet. They're waiting for that flicker in from Vivian. They have to defend this one. It's the enhanced Lord, by the way, but Shells, though, taking that mid inhibitor turret. Now it is gone. Violet, though, trying to find an opening here, but Shells! Rotation diversion, almost taking her down, actually causing her to back away. Team Vitality is still respecting, okay, the burst damage coming out from Falcons Vega, but they took what they wanted. The 2 inhibitor turrets on the top side and the mid side.
What is that damage? My girl, Shells, what? With the Wind Talker, the DPS, even from the basic attack alone, is enough to shred a member almost to its entirety of health. And now look at Team Vitality as they're looking for more dominance in the jungle. Meylane is still going to be able to pick up that orange buff, but what is going on with Team Vitality? They are on a roll. Shells 403 KDA so far. And it looks like Chinchao is trying to dish a little bit more damage. She picked up the Divine Glaive earlier on in the hopes that they can penetrate through that. But again, right, the Meteor Shower is so selective in targeting.
Yep. The ultimates have been invested here as well. Nice engage from both sides, but they didn't get the pick-off that they wanted. Everybody has their immortalities right now. Even I think Melee should be picking up the defensive items. But, you know, apart from Shells, we have to talk a little bit about the damage coming out from Chinchao as well. You've seen the Meteor Shower, right? Ripping apart, you know, the likes of Fumi Echo and even Pipals, even though they have their Radiant Armor. So that's something that they have to watch out for as well. But Shells, the thing about the Claude here, there's so many ins and outs, right? The BMI, the Blazing Duet. She also has the Purify. So it's going to be easy to escape those setups, the penalty zone, and even the Curse of Blood here from the side of Falcons Vega.
They're going to have to figure it out. I don't know how, though. Diversion play into the back line, try to bait in the Purify before they go for that play. Something along those lines, right? I mean, they could look for a way for Thal, perhaps, to try and bait out that Purify. We do see a diversion play coming through. This might be the answer.
Okay, but it's going to be Fumi Echo, the frontliner there now. They might go for the re-engage. A lot of ultimates being invested. Pipalzo in trouble here. Gonna get worked on there by Violet. It's not enough damage yet to take her down. And this is the time to strike for Vitality. Vivian goes for the flicker, as well as the Minoan's Fury. But everybody has it. Even Shells from the backline was able to take her down. And this is the signal for Vitality to just go for more. Winter Truncheon, not enough for Booty. Look at the dead timers. It's only Meylane and Thal. Not really that much wave clear. I think Team Vitality wants to go for the end here, Eterna. There goes the Astral Echo. Shells waiting for the proper time strike. It does not matter anymore because all of the frontliners are just down. Curse of Blood. It is not enough as Team Vitality shows us why they are #1 and take game #1 of this best out of 3.
They lead the series, ladies and gentlemen, with a clean, outstanding performance.